From the west side down towards the Snovka military base. It's cutting a little bit low on the island, so those northern parts of the map going to be a little bit less accessible.
Yeah, a bit more difficult to head up towards Stalbert. Maybe Yaz is still accessible, but this does mean maybe fighting for vehicles on that eastern side, which becomes quite different bad luck that could bring. Also on the east, some players, some teams heading out very, very early over towards the west here. You get Demo from IHC setting up towards South George. T2K is already dropping out. Nova looks like they're heading up towards Gatka at the moment, and Vampire down towards Primorsk, a very typical spot for them.
We did see Nova have a little bit of trouble with Gatka during their gameplay in the group stages. There was another team that was dropping down there with them, but it looks like they managed to isolate that this time around. T2K going a little bit further on. Silas, maybe a little bit too close to comfort. Hot drop on a vehicle potentially, but S2G may be looking to lose a player. And this early in the game would be far from ideal. S2G a little bit further east for the rest of them on this engagement. IHC dropped all the way to the west on the coast, grab two vehicles, will be able to tuck themselves
healthy throughout the rest of this game.
You're talking about how maybe next year we're going to see less teams be able to send very, very central, but we're not in that point system yet, right? We are still on this 15-point, we're still on that 15-point chicken dinner. And of course, if you want to be grabbing some of the loot that I'm sure some of these...
So if you got that answer right, you're very smart. And or, to be honest, back when, you know, they were taking shots against Solke over in Vikendi when his team was in Castle, that was a great time. I think they looked like one of the best teams. So again, 2021 rolls around, 4M isn't there with us. It comes as a massive surprise.
Taken away. Fortunately, there is cover. There is a building there for Buram to be able to take occupation of. Wolves as well on the top of Potato Hill. You said that it was going to be for S2G. Circle pops, center, a little bit to the south coast there. Will keep the water in proceedings, but likely that we will be finishing over to the east side of Pmgc, northwest of farm, southeast of school.
Buram, local as of yet, still yet to pass over towards Gatka.
U-High on the hillside for Geek Fam, looking to slow down the Nova IGL. Jimmy will hear those bullets whizzing on past. Probably turned away at the door. Has to scout out in another direction, figure out where they want to go in from here. They're already very, very central under the purview of Wolves to their east.
Yeah, Wolves still hanging on pretty well. This is an extremely strong position that Nova currently own. One of the stronger positions within this circle, to be honest. Looks out towards that eastern side, provides a lot of cover towards the west as well with the mountainside. Well, a long, long while. Order being popped out by Alter Ego, no less, as well. Wonderful start for them. Too dangerously. Not quite down as of yet, but Alter Ego are swarming.
They want to confirm this flush. There's no way that Nova are going to be able to get this one back either. A couple more bullets did land over towards Order, and now the rest of Nova are taking a couple of shots from Alter Ego. Paraboy worried about S2G as well at the top of the hill. Worried about that position as IHC descend onto Rig in the sidelines, and immediately a rundown and a spray down. Demo is taken out in the process, but will be safe for now. Will be just fine for the time being. Demo getting rezzed up there by Ziol.
Yeah, IHC kind of blasted off towards the end of the tournament in league stage. Created a massive gap between them and other teams to allow them to get into this grand finals. Not necessarily one of the best teams here in the lobby, but certainly with a chance to prove themselves as one of those best teams. I think right now there's other teams I've got my eyes on, but again, Mongolia has surprised before over in the PMGC. I'm sure they can do that again.
4 second places for IHC in those last chance scenarios. As Lutz takes a tumble there from Fireflux, the second player of theirs to fall. Hang on a minute, we've got a bit of a scrap with IHC. T2K looking to try and stay alive, but IHC want to finish the job that they started. And Demo again, the one to go down, and once more Ziol picks him back up.
Really good stuff. I mean, Demo's kind of just playing as the absolute punching bag of the team, which is absolutely fine. I'm okay with that. You know, as long as a little bit of sand's pouring out of him, but he's staying up on his feet, brought back. and that defensive shield in front of the team, that's all good for me. So IHC really, really well done so far. 3 eliminations. T2K didn't know what hit him. Circle up towards that northern side. Solus still with a player on bended knee. 4 AM down underneath and down towards the southeast with Good Xiao. Towards Qingchen down towards the south too. They're playing this 2-2 split. I think that they might be ready to converge on top of Solus and Fireflux if they move further ahead of them, maybe towards that north side and eliminate their approach into towards that circle.
The last player from T2K spotted out. Location known and isolated by IHC. On the northern side, Koyovsky has the info there as well, but not really too much ground to be playing around with to get those points on board to slurp them back up into the pocket. Fireflux, 2 players alive. They've been picked apart a little bit. Solus and Solke, the remaining duo on the south edge of this next circle near Farm. GeekFam currently on the outside in the cold here, southwest side, near Stalwart. Nova to their north. Remember, Nova have lost a player already, so they're only 3.
They've always been that way. They've just been working on it for quite some time. Fortunately, it's not going well for them.
Oh, Influence Kemen getting caught up in the web of it. IHC stringing them along now. Only Law remains on the backstop as Nova have their own problems to deal with. Nades out through the window. Hang on, 2 teams have already fallen there. The burn down as Geek Squad try and roll into Nova. It's not going well. They're turning the tides. Jimmy is down, sure, but King and Paraboy set up the crossfire and the Geek Fam are cut down.
Goodness me, Geek Fam. This is a great chance to represent Malaysia here in the PMGC Grand Finals and look for that grand title itself. Unfortunately, going against Nova and getting picked apart like that does not bode well towards the team that is currently defending. Vampire Esports, on the other hand, this may be a different team, a different type of beast altogether.
Jimmy did go down in the process, so 2 players alive now for Nova. A knock went over towards Vampire earlier. Schweppes puts a nade through the window to back him off the angle.
Oh, it's beautiful!
But it goes long and through the door. Paraboy runs right on into it. King now needs to reposition. Geek Fam might be able to stay alive off the back of this knock. King dropping those smokes, allowing himself to cross, making sure that he has the cover. Fluke cannot really go for this full aggression just yet. They have to be worried about Geek Fam as well, but the hillside's now controlled. King in for the res, but in comes Stone and Ravenclaw in the vehicle. In through the window, pulls the ordnance, and there they go. Nova down and out in the first match.
An entirely different beast is exactly what this team is. Sharp fangs, long claws, and massive, massive potential to scare here in the late game, prowling out from the bushes. Really, really well done to Vampire Esports. Cut themselves a nice bit of the circle for themselves over on this western side, can move through it. Good positions to move up against as well towards that east. With Alter Ego taking a couple of knocks there, that might just be their go signal.
Delta definitely spotted Qingchen going on into the shack, and there's the Molotov. Is he going to spread? Is it just fallen a little bit short? I think it might be able to get a first aid off there and stay alive, but that nade in through the door might just seal the deal. Outside again, a DRS laying it short.
DRS, honestly, they played a very safe type of game over in the league stages, waited a long, long time, and it wasn't until towards those final moments we really saw what they were made of.
Wolves stalwart already looking for the crash. The Wolves lose the first on the engagement. Action already on 2 eliminations as Remember falls. Memory wiped out as well. Scry into the ground floor, stays up and kicking as well. Beautiful and Pick feet to the back lines now. Looking to pick Remember back up. Scry gets that heal off and they remount their aggression. Scry in through with that DBS. Action takes a lot of damage, but Pika is already forwards with the UMP. Pick feet falls on the top floor and Beautiful's there as well. He's found and Stalwart keep it on rolling. The Chinese teams are being pulled apart here, Blank.
Really good stuff there from Stalwart. And again, this is definitely no longer these years of PMGC being all about China. We have some seriously good teams. Alpha 7 included, taking it to the guys from Buddhadam so far. Mythic down behind them, but if anyone can do it, Revo can. This guy has been certainly impactful for the team.
Carrillo is still there as well. Tiger with the zone pushing in will have to move now. Demo from IHC. We've seen him be, you were talking about it, a little bit of a punching bag earlier, Blank, and that sand is still topping him up.
They do it so often, they do it so well, it almost looks like luck, but I don't think we can say that it is anymore. They just have a very good awareness of where these circles are going and which are the best compounds, which are the best routes in. All 4 players currently holding on that northern side. The only other teams that may be able to contest is S2G as well as IHC right on the edge. But look at this, IHC is suffering.
Alpha 7, they felt the pressure of that linearized fight and they said, you know what? We're not messing about here. We're going to isolate you. We're going to take you out of the mix. 6 eliminations now on the cards for Alpha 7, and they can continue to push in from the eastern side towards and potentially past DRS. Alter Ego in the meantime. Potato up the top of the hill has got a lot of sightlines to deal with, but Stalwart have other ideas. They're going to move up and potentially look to dethrone him.
Stalwart, like you said, looking to pull the players from Alter Ego away from this position. They also have to worry about Vampire Esports, who I think just have found one over on Alter Ego's side. That's Rex going down. Fnatic, Pmgc still alive over towards the north here on that 2-1 split. So Inco really still have a fantastic position in the circle. Looking to pick up some big points here to start off the game. This is what they usually do. This is what they usually did over in league stage, which is pick themselves to a big game at the beginning and then run from it from there.
Alpha 7 have taken a knock, as have Stalwart. Vampire, 5 eliminations. They're playing well and together. Vehicle and slow, it goes down. Potato gets baked. And they're looking to add the cheese as well for 4 Angry Men. It's just Qingchen remaining. The Bison in hand as well. Pmgc, last standing, wants to res Fnatic in this position. Qingchen flushes out the teammate.
Again, if he takes down the last 2, that would be a pretty convincing 1v3 coming.
No, to the ranks of the Vampires as Alter Ego swept aside. 8th place, 1 elimination. Stalwart now with a challenge on DRS on the south side. Forwards position for actions. Pika is already down as Scry is dispatched by Gianti on the off angle. A nice find, nade in hand on the bottom of the hill, and the res up front needs to come through now, or it needs to stay tall. Rules might not even know about it. Hang on a minute, he's pushed all the way through. He's managed to get a knock on the back, and top falls as well, but they've turned around on Gianti now under pressure from action, but it's DRS, and Stalwart fall.
An insanely good crunch there coming out from DRS from either side. I don't think Stalwart saw it was coming. They went for a greedy res there towards the end too, and just wasn't quite enough. This is again what I was talking about earlier, is there's absolutely no teams within this lobby that are not a threat anymore. You cannot.
Will feel the brunt of a nade and a second to dunk it down. An alley-oop set up by the DRS squad. 9 eliminations now. And the Nepali team doing so much work on the rundown onto Stone to close it down. S2G, hang on a minute, they've stolen a couple away. Vampire eliminated, and now they're into the fight. S2G taking on DRS, and in the midst of it all, Qingchen has stayed alive for 4 Angry Men.
Oh my days, Nepali fans everywhere going to be very happy with how this game has come out. DRS playing
low and actually under pressure from Inco.
Players from around the world. But again, DRS takes this one to a grinding halt now. Waiting for any of these teams around them to make a mistake. Pushed us a little bit too far.
And they better with that AWM, a fearsome sight as an outpost for Inco. Starting to strike as the solo player, needing a little bit more ground, a little bit more position.
Not meant to be.
Nenebete under pressure, found out as well, just Vitali. S2G taking heavy punishment. Vitali, he's got that SLR, and now Hamzy left with the duo of Kelsey to try and stay alive. DRS are in the midst of it all. 3 players for them. 6 eliminations on Killer, by the way, in the meantime. And the players from Inco started to fall down the hill. In the midst of it all, still Qingchen stays alive, but finally dispatched. The 4 Angry Men will go down in 4th place. Now, Vitali around the edge, has the DBS, waits for him to go close. I don't even know if that was from the DBS. Yes, it was. Hamzy sent packing, and now Inco down the hill leaves DRS a golden opportunity, which they will see.
Looking with the AWM to make a splash in this
squad, and the rest of
he's going to be massively proud.
Players can adapt, can change. This is what you